Lunaris 45 is a 2 to 4 player competitive game, where you're scientists solving problems that keep arising from a lunar complex project being controlled by AI. This game is published by Pile Up Games. By the way, thank you so much to the publisher by sending me this review copy. Now, this is a dice rolling game where on your turn you're doing 3 things. First, you can buy upgrades to develop your computer's processing power. If you do so, you pay the current cost of the upgrade you wish to take, flip it to the other side, making it cheaper or more expensive for the person going next. And then you take the lowest cube from the matching column and place it in the leftmost unoccupied space of the conversion rate track. Next, you take all of your available dice and roll them. Don't forget you have 1 reroll. Once you're done rolling, now you can solve problems by using your dice that match the requirements of one card, either yours or from the display. And then finally, you can either solve 1 more card, take another card from the face-down piles into your personal area, or cash out all the cards you've solved so far, because they're paying you in credits, but you don't want credits, you want euros. So you use the conversion track on the bottom to check how much you get paid. And that's it, the game goes around and around until there are no more cards in the display. Then the player with the most money wins the game. Alright, so first of all, the theme here is non-existent, it's all very abstract. I talked with one of the designers a few months ago while this was still being developed, and there was actually another theme on top of this game that actually made sense for the kind of game this is. But the theme, it might have been controversial for some people, so they ditched the theme and went with this instead. So mechanically, the idea, the concept, it's fine, but the execution, it just doesn't work. Overall, the game is so lucky. There's just so much luck involved. I mean, it's so frustrating that sometimes you can't solve a card on your turn just because you had a bad roll. And not only that, you're also making your dice, the dice you didn't use, you're making them available for every other player going next. Because for every upgrade you have on the rightmost column, you get to use one of the other players' leftover die. That's fine, and sure, you can mitigate this by buying upgrades, but you're hurting yourself by making the conversion track worse and worse. And that's another issue. You'd think you'd get a choice on how you want to strategize? So, am I going for high risk, doing no upgrades, playing with very few options, and going for lower level cards? Or will I go all out on upgrades, which minimizes the risk, but gives me very little reward? Well, whichever one you pick, it's still very much luck driven. And the first one is not even viable, by the way. The lower level cards will end up very early on, and then you'll just have to waste an action to draw more cards. And the amount of upgrades you need to make it work, it just cuts your conversion rate so drastically to the point you're sitting at a 2 or worse. And even then, you still need a good chunk of luck. And why do more upgrades makes me get less money for the cards I'm solving? Well, I get it, you must sacrifice something, and if you don't, you're making the game unplayable for yourself. But it makes no sense, and whatever thematic reason they might have had, it's just not fun. The production overall is good. These player boards, they are card thin, they could have been a little thicker. They have all the phases depicted up here, all the iconography, it's all very intuitive, very helpful. The dice are really small. I wish they could have been slightly bigger, but they're just dice, normal dice, they get the job done. The playtime in the box says 45 minutes, it plays faster than that, maybe half an hour. So unfortunately this game has more going against it than for it. Still, for me it's a 5 out of 10. It's a fast, very simple game you can play with anyone. And if you like dice chugging and all the luck involved in it, sure, you'll absolutely like this game. If, on the other hand, you dislike all the roll dice and see what happens, then this game is definitely not for you. And that's it. This has been Lunaris 45. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time.